everyone, and welcome back. Ever feel like keeping up with health research is like trying to read a whole library in a day?
It can definitely feel that way sometimes.
Well, that's where we come in, right? Today, we're tackling cancer treatment and, specifically some really interesting research on the connection between mitochondria and stem cells.
It's an area in oncology that's generating a lot of buzz. For the longest time, the focus has been on the genetic basis of cancer, but now we are seeing a real shift toward understanding the metabolic side of things, and that's where this new theory comes in.
Okay, so we dug into this dense research article from the Journal of Orthomolecular Medicine, and let me tell you, it is packed with fascinating insights, and it's called the mitochondrial stem cell connection, or MSCC.
Yeah, the MSCC. And it kind of challenges the traditional view of cancer, the somatic mutation theory.
So for those of us who haven't taken a biology class in a while, remind us about the somatic mutation theory.
Basically, it says that cancer is a disease that starts in our genes, mutations in the DNA. But this new MSCC theory, it kind of combines elements from both the cancer stem cell theory and the metabolic theory of cancer.
So it's like a hybrid theory.
Exactly. It suggests that cancer might actually begin as a metabolic malfunction, and not in just any cells, but in our stem cells.
Okay, now we're talking stem cells. We hear a lot about these very powerful cells in our body, right?
Absolutely. They're like the body's master cells. They have this amazing ability to develop into different cell types.
So how does this malfunction happen? What's going on at the cellular level?
Well, it all comes down to these tiny powerhouses inside nearly every cell called mitochondria. You might remember those from biology class.
Oh, the mitochondria. They're like the energy factories of the cells, right?
Exactly. They're responsible for generating energy through a process called oxidative phosphorylation, or OXPHOS.
OXPHOS, right. So what's the link between OXPHOS and cancer?
The MSCC theory suggests that cancer arises when OXPHOS, that energy production process, is impaired in stem cells. And this impairment can lead to the formation of cancer stem cells, or CSCs.
CSCs, those are the real troublemakers, right?
Yeah, they're like the superpowered villains of the cancer world. They're different from normal cells, they have this ability to self-renew, and are often resistant to traditional therapies like chemo and radiation.
Okay, so impaired OXPHOS leads to CSCs. How does this actually fuel cancer growth? What's happening there?
That's where the metabolic theory comes in. See, because of this OXPHOS impairment, CSCs can't produce energy efficiently, so they become really dependent on glucose and glutamine for fuel.
It's like they're stuck in a lower gear, constantly craving sugar and glutamine to keep going.
Exactly. They're stuck in overdrive, and this metabolic shift is a hallmark of cancer cells.
So instead of humming along with efficient energy production, these CSCs are stuck in a lower gear, constantly craving glucose and glutamine to fuel their out-of-control growth. Kind of like a car switching from, high-octane fuel to something way less efficient.
That's a great analogy. And it's really interesting. The research suggests that the more impaired the mitochondria are in these cancer cells, the more aggressive the cancer becomes.
So the sicker the mitochondria, the sicker we get. That's scary. But this is fascinating. So we've got this new theory that links mitochondrial dysfunction in stem cells to cancer growth. And it all boils down to how these cells produce and use energy.
And, it really makes you think about how we approach cancer treatment, right?
So if these cancer cells are so hooked on glucose and glutamine, could we potentially cut them off at the source, deprive them of their favorite fuel?
Now you're thinking like the researchers.
Yeah.
And that's one of the exciting avenues this research explores, and we'll unpack that more in a bit.
Okay, but before we get ahead of ourselves, let's do a quick recap. So far, we've learned about the MSCC theory, which suggests that when the powerhouses of our cells, the mitochondria, aren't working properly in stem cells, it can lead to the formation of these, what were they called?
Cancer stem cells, or CSCs.
Right, CSCs. And these CSCs, they're like the VIPs of cancer growth, driving the whole process.
And making it more aggressive, which is the really concerning part.
Exactly. And this all comes down to a disruption in the way these cells make and use energy, specifically their reliance on glucose and glutamine.
They're hooked on the wrong fuel, basically. And breaking that addiction, well, that's the million-dollar question, isn't it?
It certainly seems like it. So how does this MSCC theory translate into actual treatment? This is where it gets really interesting, right? So how does this MSCC theory actually translate into treatment? The article mentions something called a hybrid orthomolecular protocol. Sounds pretty intense, right?
It does sound a little intimidating, doesn't it? But it's actually more straightforward than you might think.
Okay, so break it down for me. What is a hybrid orthomolecular protocol?
Essentially, it's a multi-pronged approach that combines different therapies and strategies, all aimed at correcting that underlying metabolic dysfunction we talk about.
So it's not just about attacking the cancer cells directly, it's about retraining the body to fight back.
Exactly. It's like shifting from a search and destroy mission to a let's renovate this whole environment approach, making it much harder for those cancer cells to thrive.
I like the sound of that. So what are some of these therapies?
Well, this is where it gets interesting. We're talking about things like vitamins, for example.
Vitamins? I thought those were more for, like, preventing colds. You're saying they can actually help fight cancer.
You'd be surprised. We often think of vitamins as just maintaining basic health, but the research suggests they might play a much bigger role, especially when it comes to cancer.
Okay, you've definitely got my attention. Which vitamins are we talking about here?
The protocol specifically highlights vitamin C, vitamin D, and zinc. These three, they're like the powerhouses of the protocol.
Tell me more about these vitamin powerhouses. What makes them so special?
Let's start with vitamin C. Most people know it as an antioxidant, right?
Yeah.
Helps protect our cells from damage.
Right. I take vitamin C when I feel a cold coming on.
Exactly. But what's fascinating is that in high doses, vitamin C can actually act as a pro-oxidant.
Hold on a minute. Pro-oxidant. Isn't that the opposite of an antioxidant? How does that work?
Well, it's all about the dosage. At normal levels, vitamin C is like a gentle protector, shielding healthy cells from damage. But at high doses, it becomes more aggressive, able to target and destroy cancer cells.
So it's like vitamin C goes undercover, then flips a switch and takes out the bad guys.
That's a great way to put it. And the research actually backs this up. There are studies showing vitamin C can trigger something called apoptosis.
Apoptosis, that's basically programmed cell death, right?
Yeah, I got it.
Yeah.
And not just in any cells, but in those metabolically messed up cancer cells. It's like they self-destruct.
Wow, so vitamin C is like a double agent, protecting healthy cells and then turning on the cancerous ones. Amazing. And what about vitamin D? I know it's good for bones, but how does it fight cancer?
Well, you know how we talked about mitochondrial respiration being impaired in those cancer stem cells? Vitamin D seems to play a key role in regulating that process, helping to restore normal mitochondrial function.
So it's like vitamin D is giving those mitochondria a much-needed tune-up.
Precisely. And there's even more. Studies suggest vitamin D may directly target those troublesome cancer stem cells and potentially reduce cancer mortality.
Okay, so we've got the double agent, vitamin C, the mitochondrial mechanic, vitamin D. What about zinc? Where does it fit in?
Zinc is like the bodyguard of the cell, protecting those precious mitochondria from damage.
So it's like a shield, defending those energy factories from attack.
Exactly. And here's the really important part. Zinc appears to be selectively toxic to cancer cells.
Meaning?
It can take down the bad guys while leaving the healthy cells relatively unharmed.
That's amazing. This protocol is shaping up to be quite the formidable opponent. We've got the vitamin powerhouses, but the protocol doesn't stop there, does it?
You're absolutely right. This hybrid approach also includes some really interesting players. Repurposed drugs like ivermectin and benzimidazoles.
Hold on, ivermectin? Isn't that
The antiparasitic drug. Yes, that's right. But it turns out it has some pretty surprising anti-cancer properties as well.
Like what? Tell me more.
Well, for starters, ivermectin has been shown to inhibit cancer cell growth. It can also induce apoptosis, that programmed cell death we talked about earlier, and even target those pesky cancer stem cells.
That is unexpected. And what about benzimidazoles? How do they work?
Benzimidazoles, drugs like mebendazole, have also primarily been used for their antiparasitic properties. But research is now showing they could be a real game changer in cancer treatment. They seem to work by interfering with the way cancer cells produce energy.
So this is where that starving strategy we talked about earlier comes into play, right? Depriving those glucose-hungry cancer cells of their favorite snack?
Exactly. Benzimidazoles work by inhibiting both glucose and glutamine pathways in cancer cells, essentially cutting off their fuel supply.
So no more sugar rush for those cancer cells. Love it. This protocol is really impressive. We've got the vitamin powerhouses, the repurposed drugs, and there's more, isn't there? The article also mentioned something about lifestyle changes, right?
You're on top of it.
Yeah.
You're absolutely right. This protocol isn't just about taking supplements or drugs. It also emphasizes the power of lifestyle interventions.
Like what?
Well, two key strategies they highlight are fasting and the ketogenic diet.
Fasting and keto. I've mostly heard about those in the context of weight loss, but how do they fit into the picture of cancer treatment?
Great question. Both fasting and a ketogenic diet essentially force your body to switch its primary fuel source.
From glucose to
Ketone bodies.
Yeah.
Your body can actually use fat for fuel, And that's what a ketogenic diet and fasting promote.
So it's like cutting off the cancer cell's favorite food source, forcing them to eat something they don't like. No more sugar rush.
You got it. Fasting and the ketogenic diet basically starve the cancer cells by limiting their access to glucose while simultaneously supporting healthy cells that can thrive on ketones.
This is amazing. So we're talking about a complete system overhaul targeting cancer from every angle we've got, the vitamins, repurposed drugs, the dietary interventions. It's really quite incredible. But wait, there's even more, isn't there? I remember reading something about other therapies as well.
You're right, there's more. This protocol is quite comprehensive. It also includes things like moderate physical activity and hyperbaric oxygen therapy, or HBOT, as it's more commonly known.
Okay, those are two things I wouldn't have immediately associated with cancer treatment. How do they fit into this picture?
Well, let's start with physical activity. We all know that regular exercise is good for us, but it turns out it's especially beneficial for mitochondrial health.
And healthy mitochondria are essential for
Everything, but especially for keeping those cancer cells in check. And then there's HBOT.
Okay, HBOT. That's the one where you breathe pure oxygen in a pressurized chamber, right? I've heard of it being used for divers with the bends, but how does it help fight cancer?
That's a great question. Cancer cells, those sneaky little things, they often thrive in environments with low oxygen levels, what's known as hypoxia. HBOT helps to reverse that hypoxia by flooding the body with oxygen, which can inhibit the growth of those oxygen-deprived cancer cells.
So it's like creating a hostile environment for those cancer cells by giving healthy cells a powerful boost.
You got it. HBOT helps to tip the scales in favor of the good guys, making it much harder for cancer cells to survive and thrive.
This protocol is truly remarkable. It's like a symphony of different strategies working together to restore balance and support the body's natural defenses. It's incredibly exciting.
It is exciting. And it really highlights how much we're still learning about cancer and its complexities. But, it's important to remember that this research is still in its early stages.
Of course, we want to be careful about getting ahead of ourselves. This is cutting-edge stuff, and more research is definitely needed.
Exactly. But even though we need more research, the potential here is undeniable, don't you think?
It really is. It's like we're entering a whole new frontier in cancer research, one that goes beyond just trying to eradicate cancer cells to really understanding and supporting the body's own intricate healing mechanisms.
Exactly. It really highlights how much we still have to learn about this disease. But it also shows us just how much potential there is for new and innovative treatments that work with the body, not against it.
This whole idea of empowering the body to heal itself, it's truly remarkable. It feels like a real shift in how we think about health and disease.
It really is paradigm shifting. And, it speaks to a larger trend we're seeing in medicine today, this move towards more holistic and personalized approaches.
Right, recognizing that the body isn't just a collection of parts, but a complex and interconnected system.
Exactly. And this research, it beautifully illustrates that interconnectedness.
Well, we've covered a lot of ground today, haven't we? From the intricacies of mitochondrial function to the potential of vitamins and repurposed drugs in cancer treatment. It's been quite a journey.
It has been a deep dive for sure. But that's what we're all about, right? Taking a really complex topic like cancer treatment and making it accessible and engaging.
And hopefully empowering our listeners to take charge of their own health journey.
Absolutely. Knowledge is power, as they say.
It certainly is. And speaking of knowledge, we always encourage you to check out the show notes. We'll have links to all the research articles we discussed today, so you can delve even deeper into this fascinating topic.
And even though this approach is still in its early stages, I think it carries a really powerful message.
And what's that?
There's always hope, and there's always more to learn.
I love that. So true. Who knows what scientific breakthroughs are just around the corner, right? We should never stop being curious, never stop questioning, never stop exploring.
Absolutely. That's what keeps science moving forward.
Well, on that note, we're going to wrap things up for today.
Until next time.
A huge thank you to our amazing expert for joining us on this incredible deep dive.
It was my pleasure.
And to all of you listening, thank you for being here. Stay curious, keep those minds open, and we'll catch you on our next deep dive into the world of health and wellness.